So which is the cheapest steak in Tesco's? £4.72. I'm going to cook this. So that's quite a chunky steak. That's an inch deep at least, maybe a little bit more. A prime cut, chosen for full and rich flavour. Yum. And it's got a bit of fat in there, a bit of the marbling effect, and that does help with flavour. And I'm gonna be honest, I've not always been the biggest steak fan. It's only recent, in the last couple of months, that I've had some really tasty meat. So buying the cheapest steak, is it down to how the steak is cooked, whether it's decent or not, or is it down to the cut of meat and the expense, how much you're paying for it? Let's try and prove it today. This was £4.72, was it? A very cheap bit of steak. It's 21 days matured. It sounds good, but does it taste good? So I'm going to cook it in a way that you would not expect. And I don't mean the way I'm cooking it in a frying pan. I mean I'm cooking it outside. They always say to leave a steak to sit for at least 30 minutes so it gets to room temperature before you cook it, because you can imagine if it's a thick steak, it's going to be cold in the centre. So you want to leave it to rest for 30 minutes at least before we cook it. And I don't know if you know about cooking steak, but I've been advised, and it worked, advised to put a lot of salt, more salt than you'd ever think you'd need, on both sides. So let's flip it over, do the other side. There we go. Salt, 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 salt. Quite a lot of salt. And just quickly, if you're interested, I put a knob of butter into the pan and a little bit of vegetable oil, not too much, and a couple of cloves of garlic in big chunks. So I'm cooking it outdoors. I've got a lovely clean hob and I want it to stay fat free. So I'm getting the pan red hot. Absolutely the best way to cook a steak. Here we go. Here we go. In goes the garlic. Just gonna do it for about 2 minutes on each side, I think. With the garlic there and the butter and the oil, you're gonna have a little bit of a sauce at the end of it to drizzle over the top. How's it doing? Oh, it's starting to brown. That is what you want to see. Looking good. Give it a tiny bit more, just because it's quite a chunky steak. Turn it over. Wow, this is going to make a delicious lunch. I just hope it tastes as good as it looks. And you can eat those little chunks of roasted garlic as well. And I'm just going to cook the ends as well a little bit. I like it medium. If you want it a bit more bloody, you can take it out of the pan sooner. Or if you like it well done, just give it an extra few minutes. Okay, I'm going to turn the stove off. Off you go, and transfer it to the plate, and we can take these little chunks of garlic just like that. And then you've got this garlicky butter, just drizzle it over the top there. And look at that. I cannot wait to taste it. Well, let's sit outside and test it out. Right, I'm desperate to try this. Little bit of roasted garlic. Yum yum. Let's cut this. That is perfect. That's just how I like it. I probably should have got a steak knife. I'm just using a normal dinner knife. Okay. Let's try it. It's quite a big chunk there. With the butter and garlic, it's lovely. It's quite tender actually. That was a big chunk. Let me do a smaller cut so it's not such a big chunk to chew on. It's quite tender for a £4 72p piece of steak. It's decent, it's good. Alright, piece of garlic. I'd eat that any day of the week. I really think that's a bargain, I really do. When I cooked a steak a couple of weeks ago, because you put butter and a bit of oil and it creates kind of a sauce really, a garlicky sauce which is delicious. If you do some chips with it, dip the chips in, it's really special. That's lovely. And I really am not exaggerating, you know. I've had worse steaks in a steak restaurant where you're paying a lot of money, and this was less than a £5. So would I buy this steak again? Absolutely. Have you ever been to really expensive steak restaurants? I've been to Hawksmore in London and it was tasty, but you pay a lot of money for Hawksmore, and I can honestly say this is as good. This is as good as Hawksmore. Well, maybe it's because I'm a world-class chef. Not at all. I really am not. So thanks for watching everyone. If you want to see more reviews like this one, please subscribe.